for our final task, we're going to get this screw and put it around all four corners of our frame. Let's deselect these marching ants here. And let's zoom into this guy here. Pretty close. Ooh, there's kind of a center dot there. That's great. We're going to use the same trick we did earlier. Let's go get the elliptical tool and start here. And hold down the Option key to center that. And very close. Also, you might want to hit the Shift key to keep it centered and a circle. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I think I can move this. There we go. And I'll move my selection up just a little bit. I'll use my arrow keys. I think I'm good there. So I've got my selection. Let's zoom out. Okay, so all I want to do is move this one right there. Get the Move tool. And that screw is a little bit big. So let's scale this down. So if you recall, we want to scale. I like using the Free Transform tool instead. So I'll go to Free Transform. It gives me the ability to change size. Remember what we talked about the elevator only going down? The same thing applies to scaling objects. You really should only scale these things down. If you start to scale them up, okay, in fact, here's a really obnoxious example here. That looks horrible. Look how you can see all of the pixels. There's not enough information there to be scaled up. Okay, so generally speaking, if you have to scale up pixels, that's what these are, if you have to scale up pixels, you might get away with maybe 10%, something small like that. But generally speaking, you're not going to want to scale up something at all that's pixels. All right, so we're actually going to scale this down. And I'm going to use the percentage values that are up here. So I want to scale this proportionally, so both these values should remain the same. And in order to keep them the same, I can do myself a favor. I will click this link. Looks a little bit like a chain link. So I'll click that, and I'll say you be 40%. And now, look at that size. Looks pretty good. I'm going to tell it to be done, and there it is. But I'm not going to get rid of my marching ants yet, because what I'm going to do is to duplicate this. And this is where the Move tool comes in handy. Okay, there's a little trick. Okay, hold down the Option key, and look what happens to your cursor. It turns into this double arrow thing, kind of like a Xerox copy, right? So now I will, come on Photoshop, I will hold down the Option key and then click on these, on this circle, and it drags a new copy up there. Now I also want to keep it straight above the original screw. So I'm going to hold down not only the Option key, but the Shift key. So it keeps it in a straight line right above where I started. Now if we were going to be really fussy about this, we might rotate this screw a little bit more. You know what? Let's be fussy. Let's hit Command T with the marching ants on, and we'll rotate this a little. I don't even care what it is, just as long as it's rotated something. Okay, so we'll hit the check mark, keep the marching ants on, and then do the trick again. So Option turns our cursor into a copy cursor, drag it over this way, also holding down the Shift key to keep it straight in line. I'll drop it right there. I'm going to hit Command T to rotate, and I'll hit Enter this time instead of the check mark. Oop, it didn't work that time. How do you like that? Yes, it did. We'll do it that way. And then we'll do this one more time. Option, click, drag, and then drop this here with the Shift key. Rotate it anymore? Yeah, I'll rotate it one more time. Just a little bit. Hit Enter or check. And I've got all my screws in place. I will deselect my marching ants with Command D. Looks good. And the last trick, should we save for one more movie? No, let's do it now. Let's go get the crop tool. And all we've got to do is, well, look, we've got kind of a border going on here. How much of a border do we want? Well, let's bring this up here from the bottom. And we're gonna, that's not bad. So let's try to keep that uniform all the way around this kind of thickness. This is a little too thick here. So we'll bring this in just a little bit. And we could use the sides or the corner. So I'll move the corner that allows us to basically move the side and the top side as well. And that's it. Let's hit the check mark. And we're done.